Hey everybody, Todd here, and welcome back to another Wellness Talks brief. Often, there's a lot of emotional discord, people who beat themselves up because they realize that they spend a good deal of time focusing on negative things, and they think that there's something wrong with that. And there's no wonder that we have these types of judgments that we place on ourselves. If you look at the media and literature and the news and how it's driven that we really should be focusing on the positives and not necessarily, and not being negative people. But there's an underlying reason why there is a focus to move us more to be focused on the positive. And that's because as a whole, we are wired in such a way that we pay attention to and focus on the negatives. And we are negatively focused for a reason. We needed it. It's what helped us to survive and get to where we are. We don't necessarily pay attention to the good things when we know that there's something that needs to be solved, the negative, the bad things. Now, if you have a good balance in your life and you're able to take care, or at least you feel like you are moving towards taking care of negative issues, then we can, of course, take the time to enjoy the good things in life. But oftentimes when I'm working with people, it's because they can't take the time to enjoy the good thing in life. They're too hyper-focused on the negatives. So one of the things I like to point out to them to help to alleviate this judgment of their self. I'm always so negative. Why am I so negative? Geez, I'm being negative right now. Is that 100,000 years ago, we needed to pay attention to and focus on those things which were negative. Big, furry animal with claws. Negative. How do we deal with that? I see another big, furry animal with claws. Probably also negative. How do I account for that? How do we make sure that we have enough food for the fall to get us through the winter? We're focusing on the lack of something to make sure that we are prepared for something. And this was essential. And in a lot of ways is still an important piece to have. But if we reside totally there, if we put everything into this camp and we don't pay attention to what's going on over here, it's not a balanced life. And we know it, and we start to get stuck in it. Worse yet is that there are plenty of people out there who are operating with this automatic way of being, looking for the negative, looking for the next thing that's going to go wrong. That it just happens slowly over time, and they get stuck inside of that, and they are negative, and they are suspicious, and they are more closed. But we're most energetic when we're open, wide open. We're also more vulnerable. So like I said, there are times when we need to be closed, we need to be ready. If there is a four-legged furry animal with big fangs and claws, I want to be ready and closed to defend myself. Unfortunately, there are a lot of things nowadays which may look like, may actually lead to, and make us think that we need to be always paying attention to the negatives. But think about your own life. Yes, you've done some things to prepare for as best you can, because remember, your control has a limit, and it's probably a smaller limit than you think. So we do what we can for the areas that we can, and the rest, well, it's kind of a waste of our energy. And in a way, if we're focusing on something that's outside of our control and we can do nothing about it, and we're putting ourselves in a place of unease or dis-ease, and causing ourselves all this extra pain and suffering, we're doing it for nothing. And in a way, you almost, if it does actually occur, you're going to get twice the amount. There's really if there's not a whole lot that's going to happen, there's a bill that's coming. I can sit and fret about it, or I can just handle it when it arrives. Now, like I said, I'm not saying this doesn't mean you don't pre-plan and have a few things in place that are ready. You don't take time to put things off to the side. What I am saying is that we are negatively focused, and we need to be aware of this so that we can actually tap into the positive perspective, because it is from that position that we are empowered, that we have hope, that we move forward.